joining us. This should be fun today. If you want to just make sure that your water is up to a full boil at this point, also you might want to consider seasoning the water. And I did gather up a little mound of butter. These are cubes of butter all cut up. I've got some citrus from our estate here that I picked up, as well as some fresh herbs. I have some wonderful chives that I like to sprinkle on for garnish. A lot of people actually like to put garlic in their drawn butter. And my lobster is about 1 pound, 10 ounces. What I'm going to do is go to I'll show you really quick, my court bouillon. Here's my pot. And I'm going to go ahead and start this because my lobster is going to take probably about 12 to 13 minutes. Now what I'm going to do is put this lobster in head first, straight into it, and just go ahead and close the lid. It'll be the most humane and quick way to cook them. And so my lobster is actually done. So I'm going to pull that out. In order to be able to handle this or crack this out, I'm going to allow that to kind of cool down just a little bit more. And what I'm going to do is bring this water up to a little simmer, and I'm going to make what we call a beurre fondu or beurre monté. So now that I'm up to almost like a little simmer here, I'm going to go ahead and start to add in cubes of butter at a time. And I'm going to use my whisk. You can see it's getting a little frothy and foamy. I could actually put some of the garlic slivers that I had earlier, and I could put some of those into my actual beurre fondu, and they would warm and soften. Another one that I have over here will be standard drawn butter. This is probably the most common, most popular. In the center, I actually toasted off some whole butter to the point where now we have what we call beurre noisette. This is brown butter. I might use this beurre noisette or the brown butter to dip my lobster into when I'm having my Chardonnay. So with the oak and all the creaminess, another nice touch to go with the brown butter is also the addition of like fresh tarragon leaves. So let's get to our lobster now. The other tools that you might need are going to be probably a lobster cracker. If you happen to have some heavy duty kitchen shears, they work. Go ahead and pull off and just basically twist the claws right off. The next part that I'm going to do is go ahead and just give this a twist. Here's one thing that you can do. I'm going to do a little press on here until I hear a crack. And from there, I can go to the underside and using my fingers. And again, gloves help with this. I'm going to go ahead and take these off, separate them out. And then I'm going to use basically my lobster crackers. By cracking just a little bit sideways, up and down, not flat ways, I can get into this the meat that's on the inside here as well. If you find that it's easier to use some kitchen shears, you can do that. This shell is very thick, so you could use your crackers. What you want to do is not go the flat way like this where you're going to crack it, but go the up and down way like this so you can actually shatter their shell just a little bit. And so what you can do is take this bottle and use it almost like a rolling pin and put it on and roll. You put pressure on here and out from the side is going to come all that additional meat that's in there. So now you have your claws, you have the beautiful knuckle meat. You can take the tail and slice it up. I happen to have some beautiful Yukon Gold potatoes. I grabbed some of our spring asparagus from the garden, which I simply just boiled both of those off and then chilled them down. There's your cracked lobster, the claw pieces, the knuckles. You have assortment of different dips. I know that lobster rolls are a great thing you could do with all the extras or the leftovers or the knuckles. If you want to just warm these up in butter, as pure and simple as possible. Definitely want to maybe add some garnish with some chives. Well, hopefully this helps and everyone's enjoying their lobsters right now.